One of the most controversial decisions that Bungie made with this episode is, of course, the removal of the red border grinds with this, seasonal weapon, activity weapon grind. It's just gone. And it's led to mixed opinions. There's people that were definitely okay with this and was all for it. Like, understandable. Okay, great. Looter shooter. Understandable. But then there was also people that were not for this. Hey, you just removed the one thing that made this game, this episode grind less of a pain on trying to get the rolls that I want by just making it a red border grind. And now it's gone. It was back and forth, but I feel like at the end of the day, everybody, no matter what decision of how you feel about when they announce this decision, I feel like we can all agree that the way that Bungie has made the loot grind the way that it is now with the episode is not that good at all. It's pretty bad. So let's talk about this. Because, again, this is how it used to be was, yes, you would just get 5 red borders of the weapon and then, boom, you can start crafting it. And you would think that, okay, that would obviously remove the whole reason to grind the new activities. So, because it would be very easy to get those. And what was it? Act 2 of last episode, I was able to get the 2 new weapons, red border, fully done within like a couple hours. It didn't take me long at all. So I would not have to do that activity anymore because there we go. Got it. But I guess there was an extra layer of a grind that Bungie thought, oh, no, people will still do the activity because we have these non-red border weapons, which were the old weapons like they did with Season of Dawn weapons for last episode, which kind of disappointing that they didn't have all the Season of Dawn weapons. I don't know why the auto rifle's gone. And also where Trophy Hunter. Really? Really, Bungie? You're going to do this to me? Anyways. But yeah, with this episode, same thing. We have the Season of Splicer weapons as, an extra grind. But now everything is fully RNG. And yeah, so it was a lot easier back then in the last episode. But with this episode, it makes no sense on how and why that they thought that this was a good idea. Other than that, it's a Bungie typical gotta get those playtime numbers kind of mentality, which I know that's always a big thing that everyone says, including myself, that it feels like a lot of the decisions that Bungie makes is purposely to ensure that people are playing the game a lot. And understandable, but when you do it in such a poor way, it makes people want to play less, even though you would think that it would do the opposite. In this case, yeah, it's one of those situations where people are just sick and tired of this because there's a lot of issues with this. For starters, let's just talk about the way that they were gonna be hey, I know we removed the red borders, but guess what? We have shinies. But except they don't have a unique cosmetic to it, so we completely just didn't understand the reason why people like the shinies in the first place from the Into the Light. But it's got double perks and it's fully masterworked. Okay, fair enough. Double perks sounds nice. Until you realize that you could do 50 waves of Onslaught and get 0 of those quote-unquote shinies. That is bad. And I even heard that people, I've done it myself where you go through the harder version and go through 50 waves and you get 0 double perk shinies, quote-unquote shiny weapons. Yeah, that's not good. That's bad. That's where Bungie's being a little bit too greedy, and that leads to people being fatigued on this grind because why? And I know that a lot of you would be like, well, what's the reason of having double perks? Well, one, it lessens the RNG a bit. It kind of makes it a lot more, higher chance that you're going to get the roll that you actually want or the combination, because when it comes to the perks, there's that as a grind, but then there's also the barrels and stuff like that, and of course the masterwork that's another on top of their grind. So having more perks is always a good thing. It just lessens the grind a bit, but I don't think that it's going to guarantee you're going to get the perfect roll. I was getting triple perks on master loot from Salvation's Edge weapons, and I wasn't getting my roll that I wanted. So yeah, there's still like bad luck to it. So having it be like a zero guarantee on getting one at least through 50 waves is insane. And this is, I'm so tired of Bungie being not so generous on these decisions. But the other reason that this could be infuriating is vault space. Yeah, it's becoming more of an issue. I know that they recently increased it again, but it's just not catching up to how much stuff that we already have in the game that we want to keep. All these roles that we've worked so hard for. And when you don't get, double perks, triple perks, and to the point where one weapon has your, PvE, PvP role that you want in just one weapon, it leads to you having like multiple copies inside your vault, leading into, instead of one space, now 4 spaces for each like weapon or something like that. And yeah, that's where like the whole like balancing of vault space and loot is, it's a really big mess. And Bungie still needs to answer the whole vault space issue when it comes to this kind of loot problem going forward. But I have some answers with that, and that's trying to find ways to allow more perks to your weapons. And yeah, I would much rather have that. I still don't understand why they don't make it like guaranteed to get these double perk weapons, at least from like when you're like at wave 30, and then after that it's like, you're guaranteed at least one, but you can chance more. I don't know why they don't do that. That honestly, I feel like that wouldn't hurt anybody. And if Bungie's so scared about playtime, come on. Like, really, get the wake-up call, Bungie. Player base numbers aren't looking good, no matter the decisions that you think are good. So be a little bit more generous, because, whatever you're doing, it's clearly not working. Stop doing that. So, I again, that's where I think that they could do that. But here's another thing that I'll add to it. Make an actual grind through reputation of resetting your rank through these episodes to start allowing you to get more perks to your weapons, even if they're not shiny. I don't understand why like they've never tried to look at reputation systems inside of Destiny to be like the core playlist ones, like the Crucible, Strikes, and Gambit, where as you reset your rank, you could start getting multiple perks, to the point where you're getting triple perks on all your weapons because you reset your rank so many times for that episode. And yet they only keep it to Vanguard Ops, Crucible weapons, and Gambit weapons. Like, not even like the Nightfall weapons get like triple perks, even if you reset your rank. So it's just really weird to me. But with episodes, it would make sense if like, if you're playing the activity a lot, which to reset your rank, you're playing a lot in there. But it would at least kind of make you feel like you're making some kind of goal for yourself on, hey, my RNG is going to get better because I'm grinding this activity. I'm putting in the time and effort. So therefore, I will be rewarded for this. It's like Bungie doesn't want to do that ever. They don't want your time in the activity to be worth it. Bungie's just like, no, we're not going to do that. Just RNG all the way, and people just get fatigued. When you don't have some kind of like, here's an accomplishment that you can get if you do this, and you get to that point, when they don't do that, people get fatigued because they know that they're not going to get better stuff over time of all their time investment into the episode grind. Why don't they do that? They literally want playtime, right? Resetting your rank takes time. And if they were to do this with every vendor, that'd be great. But again, let's focus on just this episode. Like, what if you reset your rank 3 times? And now you start to ensure that you're getting double perks on your weapons, or at least increased chance. And maybe you reset your rank 6 times for the episode, and now you're getting triple perks. And then maybe you start getting adept versions. Maybe they unlock adept weapon versions of all the weapons now because you put in the time and effort to start getting those. And I know that a lot of people be like, okay, well then what's the point of having these weapons to grind for in the beginning when obviously I'm going to want the adept versions and I don't get them until like way later. They could still like drop in the beginning when you're not even like resetting your rank. I'm even saying like the triple perk ones could be rare as well, like a chance to drop, but they'll be rarer than more guaranteed when you're not resetting your rank. But they could still like be like, oh yeah, you did 50 waves, here's an adept, like quote unquote shiny with double perks. They could do something like that. So then for the casual player, they're still getting rewarded. There's none of that. No, instead, Bungie thought to themselves, you know what? Let's remove the red border grind, just strip away something that everyone was so used to, and not even try and figure out a way to make those casuals that enjoyed that system feel like they're being rewarded with their time inside of the new episodes. Nope. And they're still obviously doing the whole drip feeding of weapons. So, if you want this 1 or 2 weapons, gotta wait till the next act. Oh, there's a couple more weapons, but they're not unlocked yet. Come back in another month, and we'll have those weapons in Act 3. It's like they're drip feeding, then they're also making everything super RNG, and they're just not trying to reward the player enough. That's my big problem. Vault space, in my opinion, is one of the biggest issues that I run into. My vault's clean, but what about you? I'm pretty sure you have problems, not me. And it would be nice, again, to have weapons where you get one with triple perks and it's perfect. PvP, PvE roll. There you go. Boom. And even then, you could have 2 weapons in your vault with triple perks that are, one's all PvP stuff and one's all PvE stuff. I don't know. Point I'm trying to make is that that would have been better to replace the red border grind. Bungie's way of replacing the red border grind was very bad, as I've explained, and a lot of people are not happy about it. Heck, I unless I'm crazy, but I've been doing Tomb of the Elders or Contest of Elders, and doing all the accomplishments to where the Warden's Judgment is high to getting the most loot, and I haven't gotten a single shiny in there, or well, quote unquote shiny. What are you doing, Bungie? Like, the whole point that you're like, oh, we want people to play our activities. But once I realized that, oh, I don't think we can get shiny, like double perk weapons inside of Contest of the Elders. So why am I doing this? Oh, for the SMG and the shotgun. Oh, so that basically confirms that I can't get double perks on those 2 weapons? Oh, well, that sucks. And if I want to go and get those other weapons, I have to go back to Onslaught. I should be able to do either. And honestly, I feel like Contest of Elders should be way more rewarding too on that kind of like double perk system. But no. I mean, again, unless I'm like super unlucky, but I haven't seen a single Masterwork double perk weapon drop from Contest of the Elders. Not one. And that's bad. And this is where I'm going to be kind of like a little bit irritated, because we all hate time-gated stuff. Imagine that in Act 3, we can get like maybe these upgrades. I know that Ido does like these like mission things, and then you can get upgrades to like your tonics or, loot or whatever, like helps you. It's basically the upgrade system that we've seen recycled throughout every season, but they try and make it a little bit different so it's not completely the same. But I see right through you, Bungie. It's literally that. It's just changed slightly. But imagine in Act 3, they're like, oh, now you can start getting triple perks or double perks. Why? Because then again, it's like, what was the point of grinding Act 1 and 2? You always want to make sure that the best way of loot is there at the beginning. That's why I'm saying that the triple perk and adept way of getting weapons is in the beginning. They're just a really rare chance. But as you reset your rank constantly, you're getting to a goal to where you can start getting double perks, triple perks. Oh, triple perk adepts now because you're investing into the activity. Bingo. There you go, Bungie. Do that. Like, I'm fine with the whole removal of the red border grind. I don't really necessarily like it, but at the same time, with vault space being a constant issue and just all these different roles and constant grinds every single episode and drip feed of weapons as well that I have to come back to, it would be nice to be rewarded for my time investment in those activities to where I start getting more better loot. Better loot. A light at the end of the tunnel. Bungie is putting you into the episode with no lights, closing the door and saying, have fun grinding. There's no light. You don't know, like, this is it. That's your grind. Your RNG is super low on getting those double perks on those weapons, and they seem to only drop in Onslaught. They're not in Contest of Elders. At least I don't think so, but it's super really rare. So, I mean, at this point, you might as well say it's not there. And that's it. I can't believe that Destiny 2 has been out for this long and we are still having severe issues on loot. On how, I mean, we just found out that there was a glitch on perk weighting. And Bungie was like, oh, sorry, we fixed it. I'm happy that they did it, but it's like, maybe you should realize that you need to start rewarding the players then more as well. Like, so then these kind of issues, if it ever pops up again in the future, it's not going to be as bad if you're getting more perks. I don't know. So I'm somebody that I don't like the red border grinds. I feel like that removes the whole reason of excitement of putting in, your time into a looter shooter where it's supposed to be RNG. When you start to remove RNG, it basically becomes like D2 vanilla. Not entirely. Like, it's not like, oh, once you get your Bear to Devils, you're done. But you get the point. It's just 5 red borders, you're done. So I don't really like that system for the most part. I feel like it's okay for some areas, but not all. But at least reward the players more in their time and investment into your activities, and at least make them feel like, hey, even though I didn't reset my rank a bunch of times yet, I could still chance on getting the best loot. There you go. You got to give the players a sense of hope on what they're going for. And I feel like because they don't do that, it's leading to people giving up. Just like with a lot of other activities inside of Destiny. But yeah, I want to make this conversation on a lot more into Destiny, but I just wanted simply to talk about this issue because I know that a lot of you are obviously very mixed about the whole red border grind being gone, but I feel like even the people that are happy with it being gone are like, yeah, these shinies suck. 1, no cosmetic to them, and 2, where are they? Like, they don't exist. It's like they're encrypted. Like, I remember I got one in like a very long time of doing like Onslaught, and it was a role that I was like, ugh. And it made me sad because I realized that this is something very rare, and yet the combination of roles that I got just didn't make me happy. It's like, is Bungie really just gonna be like, oh no, you should be really happy that you got this? It's it's the shiny. It's cosmetically the same. It's just got double perks, except the double perks are kind of like, I don't know. It's not what I was going for, but anyways, Bungie, just number 1, stop thinking about playtime in the wrong way. Think about that, oh, people would play more if they know that they're going to get things with their time investment. And just reward better. Like, these are things. You're drip feeding weapons, okay? Like, it's okay for you to do that. Just don't do both. Don't be super greedy on everything. But that's at least my thoughts. You can let my let my whole thought process of this kind of be like, oh, you know, it could be better this way, that way. If you want to, let me know in the comments down below if you think that there's something better than this. But I think that this would be great, honestly. The whole, you know, you reset your rank more, you start getting double perks and triple perks, then adept triple perks, and you can still get those adapts as very rare from even the beginning of your grind. So it's not like, oh, well, I might as well delete everything until I get to reset rank 6 or something like that. Because that would be silly. That would. But regardless, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below about this. And regardless, thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a chibi-tastic day, night, evening, wherever you are. And I'll see you in the next video. Chibi out.